Mochi Health is here to help you start your weight loss journey with caring, personalized support. Meet one-on-one with board-certified obesity doctors and registered dietitians who truly listen and understand your unique needs. Eligible patients can access affordable GLP-1 medications delivered right to their door each month. No insurance? No problem. Mochi Health accepts FSA and HSA, making care accessible and affordable. And with 24/7 customer service, you'll never feel alone on your path to better health. Get started with Mochi Health today. Take the free quiz at joinmochi.com and use code AUDIO40 at checkout for $40 off your first month of membership. That's joinmochi.com with promo code AUDIO40.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where two reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the Pre-Fixe, your weekly pop culture roundup.
When I tell you that I stabbed my eyeball with a mascara wand this morning, and it has put me in the most foul fucking mood, that's why I'm like this right now, because I can't. But
those lashes.
But these lashes.
So stupid.
I truly thought there was a visit to urgent care coming, but the universe obviously.
It was that bad.
It was bad. About 20 minutes ago, it was that bad. But the universe knows that we have to bring these vital messages to the listeners. So she healed me. And here we are.
Bless up.
Good morning, everyone. My mood will improve as
Are
we
you
talk
okay?
about these vital messages. Yeah, I am. So CinemaCon, there's a lot of movie news this week because CinemaCon, the annual meeting of distributors and Hollywood studios, is taking place in Las Vegas. A lot of big announcements.
A lot of wheeling and I tried to put an H in dealing and it didn't work.
Wheeling
deals. And dealing.
A lot of whirlwind deals.
Yeah.
There are two big ones coming out of this. The first is that Sam Mendes, who directed and won an Oscar for American Beauty, is doing, we've heard about the Beatles docufilm that he's been doing for quite some time. What I did not know is that there are 4 movies coming. They will be released in a few years. There are 4 Beatles movies coming, one for each. They're going to be released on the same day.
Dominic, no. What?
Why are you saying that?
For each Beatle, there's a movie.
There's going to be the world's first binge-worthy theatrical experience.
What? Oh, God.
See, I like anything new. If it fails, it fails. But this seems like a lot because I think the audience that cares, a lot of them are dead. You know, I'm not sure people your age or younger are going to flock to the theaters, but they are trying because.
Listen, we watched Across the Universe. Okay, we don't count us out. But
will you watch Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney though?
Sure,
that's a good one, right?
Now let's go down the list a few and who's playing Ringo Starr because who's like lining up to that movie. That's what I don't like is that. It's like going to be a line around the block for Paul McCartney. It's going to be like a line around the block for John Lennon. But then it's like, okay, like Ringo, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are they doing this?
Well, Barry Keoghan is playing Ringo Starr. Barry Keoghan, of course, nominated for Banshees of Inisherin. And of course, you watched him fucking a grave in Saltburn 2 years ago.
God, I literally blocked that out of my mind.
Wow. See,
what a fucking...
maybe the greatest movie of the century so far.
With hindsight.
As far as I'm concerned. Well, that and House of Gucci, but go ahead.
Goodbye. There you go. Right there. I don't even need to say it. Never mind. You know what? Never mind. There we go. You said everything I needed to say with that right there.
So yeah, these 4 movies are coming out. I don't really know who's playing John Lennon or George Harrison. Joseph Quinn is playing George Harrison, and I can't remember where I know him from, but they're all gorgeous.
Sure.
And good luck to these men.
It's just like so PR eye-catchy, like article-driven stunting. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but I don't know what else they're supposed to do to get people back in theaters. Like this sort of shit, we're going to be seeing a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff like this, because we don't have sort of like solid entertainment anymore. We just have stunts. Like that's what everyone's in a panic about.
Honestly.
So how to get them back? Do I think that the 4 Beatles is going to work? No. Do I think that 5 movies about the Spice Girls would fare better. Most likely. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So if the Beatles works, then we'll see if we can do this. How about 3 movies about the Jonas Brothers?
Goodbye.
I'll play their dad.
Meanwhile,
That's
the first
I'll play Papa Jonas.
The whole thing is just the same movie, but from a different perspective.
Basically,
they all grew up together because they're brothers.
Maybe we'll get some like White Lotus incestuous behind the scenes dirt we didn't know about the Joe Bros. Who knows?
Yeah, much to your great glee, you would get that. By the way, yeah.
As long as they're adults, just so we're clear, I only support incest from adults consenting who are adults. The other big story coming out of CinemaCon is that the new Marvel era has begun. Everyone knew that Robert Downey Jr. would be playing Dr. Doom in the upcoming Avengers Doomsday. Well, Marvel and Disney then announced a cast rivaling Lawrence of Arabia. There are too many superheroes in it. It's Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, all the X-Men. Chris Hemsworth will be in it.
They're really bringing him back, aren't they?
Tom Hiddleston's going to be in it. Obviously, like we said, Robert Downey Jr. is not Iron Man anymore. He's Dr. Doom. The Fantastic Four will be in this new movie. We have not met the Fantastic Four. The villain or non-villain from Aquaman, whose name I can't... Basically, they truly announced 27 stars for Avengers Doomsday. You want to talk about a stunt? Maron. There's a lot happening.
Well, they're like, guys, don't worry. Here's all the movie. Like they do this like every 4 years of being like, here's the next phase. And then truly the whole internet like devours them and crucifies every person that's ever touched a Marvel movie because of it.
I don't want to be a negative Nancy about it. It feels a little bit like a mess. It feels a little bit like...
Well, they had this whole, like they were building to something with these terrible, remember, what was it? The one with... the Ant-Man one where they like went into a different dimension that we like said was ridiculous.
Right. A dimension where somehow Michelle Pfeiffer would fuck Michael Douglas. Right.
Yes. Like that. But then like that just stopped. And then it was like, hold on, let's do all these random like Disney Plus shows for no reason. And then here's this, I don't know. It's just very haphazard.
Well, I have good news for you. Ant-Man will be in this Avengers Doomsday. So that continues.
We're chasing the dragon of like the original like Endgame, like leading up to Endgame, and we're just never gonna recapture it. I'm sorry.
Stunt.
Yeah.
But you know what? I want to go away. I'm done with the multiverse. I've had it.
Yeah, I don't care. It's done.
I want it to take place in 2025 from beginning to end. I don't want an alternate universe. Even Severance isn't doing a multiverse this season, but they're flashing back a lot to shit. It's making the show difficult for me to
we've kind of like given up on it. I know that like everyone is going to have their like dancing knives out for us, but like I'm just like at a certain point we watched that episode with like where what's her name, Patricia Arquette is like in that weird house and you like don't know what's going on, but you know what's going on the whole time. And at the end of it, Hassan and I looked at each other and we're like, what is the point of the show?
Well, as Rebecca Bregman, our friend, says on an upcoming Patreon episode, she just wants something simple. We just want to enjoy ourselves. Every time I watch Severance, I then have to immediately go onto Hulu and rewatch every episode of Mid-Century Modern, which couldn't be, by the way, a simpler fucking television show.
Sure.
Have you watched it yet?
No, not yet. I haven't had any time, but yeah, I'm excited. All over the internet, it's telling me that people love it.
Are they really?
Yeah. Are you liking it or no?
It's not in the pantheon of great television shows, and the pilot is as clunky as pilots are supposed to be. But as it goes on, it does get more endearing. It's like sucking down some warm soup. The Hollywood Reporter described it as the edgiest show of 1987.
Slam.
I'm actually going to stick with that, but I don't think that that's a bad thing.
But that's like what they want it to be, in my opinion. Am I wrong about that? I feel like it's like that's the goal of this. Yeah.
I think they thought it would be edgy for 2025 as well. It's still very funny. And I laughed out loud at the second and third episodes. Didn't laugh out loud at the first because I was more wrapped up in Nathan Lane dating someone 30 years younger than him who was Latino, and I felt like someone had been reading my journal and put
that was a hard look in the mirror, wasn't it, Dominic?
Yeah, like if I'm closing my eyes and I'm listening to Nathan Lane in bed with this person, it's me and my number one.
You're flashing back. You're flashing back.
It's pretty unbelievable.
Speaking of multiverse of madness.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. They also showed the first clips from this movie at CinemaCon.
Why are they doing this?
A requel, a shequel, whatever it is, but a squeakquel. But Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt are in the movie and were featured in the trailer they showed at CinemaCon, which apparently caused squeals of delight from the audience. The plot is basically that these 5 kids accidentally kill someone and then remember this happened 20 years ago in our town. Let's go talk to the people it happened to and find out how they handled it.
Why? God, why?
Seriously. I believe the plot was written by Mark Twain and Stephen Sondheim came together. And William Shakespeare.
Mark Twain.
It's pretty insane.
Brother.
A lot of news coming for that. Did we know that the Sundance Film Festival, by the way, was moving to Boulder, Colorado? This was brand new news to me.
I think it just happened.
Rebecca was telling me that it had been in the works for a minute, but I never remember hearing about it.
Well, they're not allowed to fly pride flags in Utah anymore. Right. Because we live in Trump's America. So Sundance was like, okay, perfect excuse for us to leave. You know what I mean? And so they were like, we can't do this because like we include everyone, thank God. And they were like, bye. Right. And then, so there you go.
And is it true that they're renaming the Sundance Film Festival the Amelia Perez Festival of Lights?
The minute you started that sentence, I knew that you weren't going to be serious. And so I started shaking my head. The Amelia Perez Festival of Lights. That's what this podcast should be named, is honestly what it is.
All right. Speaking of serious, we do have to switch gears a little bit. This story is wild to me. I don't know how to say her last name. Forgive me. I apologize to this woman. Virginia Giuffre.
Guffrey, I think it is.
Guffrey. Virginia Giuffre. She's the face you recognize most from the Jeffrey Epstein trials and tribulations as a woman who
she was in the
alleged
photo
to have had
with
sex with Prince Andrew.
Yes,
right.
She's the woman that's in that photo of Prince Andrew, who he's like, we never met together, and she's like, here's a photo of us together. Would you like to? Yeah,
she
was hit
that
by a bus,
woman. Right? She was hit by she lives in Australia. And apparently, and she could be deceased by the time you even hear this, because yesterday news comes out that she's got 4 days to live because she was hit by a bus and she's saying goodbye to the world and goodbye to her children. And it's been a good life. And she's in severe kidney failure because of this accident. She can't recover.
That's terrible.
Just bizarre.
Yeah.
So to say that conspiracy theories sprouted up instantly. I doubt Prince Andrew was driving the bus, but in a shocking development, Prince Andrew's ex-girlfriend puts on Instagram photos of the battered and bruised Virginia Giuffre in a hospital bed and just writes karma on her forehead.
No.
Yeah, this is Andrew's ex-girlfriend who I guess is sticking by his side and saying that, all of the allegations were simply untrue. Prince Andrew's ex-girlfriend is named Lady Victoria Hervey.
Well, guess what? Death to her. I hope she gets hit by a bus.
I think
Lady And then I'm going to post a picture of her and say, karma, fucking stupid bitch.
I think Lady Victoria Hervey is just trying to get with any royal that she can before middle age and singlehood expires with her. And she's just like, I'm going to publicly support him and maybe I can get some of that money.
Also, speaking of incest, like,
no kidding. Because, he's in exile, but being in exile in that family just means you live in like a 20-room mansion instead
it's every person's dream is to like not have any like responsibilities or a job. Yeah. And live in the lap of luxury.
Yeah. I'd love to be an exiled royal family member. Those people have staffs.
Well, Dominic, let's hit someone with a bus.
Right. Let's sex traffic hundreds of women and then start killing them all with motor vehicles. You too could live like Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
Moving right along. Prayers for you, Virginia Guffrey. Thank you for telling us your story.
Doesn't die, honestly.
Yeah, we hope you don't die.
Yeah. And like, P.S., she has the smoking gun. Like, she went on all those documentaries and was like, what do you want to know? And told her whole fucking story. And it was like harrowing. So fuck all these
I also
people.
love when people, the liberal use of the word karma, as the universe isn't handling all of the world wars and famine and poverty in the world. What the universe is doing is hitting Virginia Guffrey with a bus 20 years after she alleged some sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Karma, that's how it works. That's a Buddhist for you. That's a Parker Posey Buddhist for you right there. Goodbye, Victoria. Goodbye.
Stupid whore. What is her? I don't even know what she looks like. Let's Google it, Victoria. But continue.
Lady Victoria Hervey. She's on that link. She looks,
she's really pretty, I will say.
Would you? That hair is a little too feathery for me. I don't know.
It's also, she's
She's
looks
wearing
like
a burlap sack.
She looks like someone who's on her knees, suckling on the teat of the royal family. I'll tell you that much.
Well, you know what? Yeah, she looks like someone who would publicly support Prince Andrew.
There we go. Thank you.
That's that bitch. Okay. Speaking of bitches, Fixing Famous People is proud to report news you've probably already heard is that Yolanda, the bitch who killed Selena, will remain in jail. Bitty bitty bomb bye, bitch.
No, people have sent me bitty bitty bomb bitch like 9 million times.
You're not going anywhere, Yo-Yo. No one thought you were, maybe except for you. And honestly, again, if you want to die, sure. Go.
Sure. Yeah. No,
it's
speaking
fine.
of the karma, death. Yeah. Like, go ahead and leave prison. And then that's the person who needs to have karma written on their forehead in an Instagram post. Because
why are you leaving there, sweet? Prison is your panic room. You are you're as safe there as you're going to get. And you're not even safe there.
Yeah. No, but like ever.
Getting back to the royal family, Meghan Sussex, Meghan the Duchess of Sussex, of Smuckers, goes on social media and says, it's time. Meaning, I feel like she's talking to us directly.
No,
when she says it's time.
Direct. Again, never forget whenever she was like clapping back at a podcaster, millions of people were like, did she talk to you guys? They thought it was us. I was like, oops.
The jam is coming. The brand is coming. It's all just coming. I'm not buying it.
Well,
I'm not buying it.
Well, technically, you will be buying it whenever I order it for us.
You will be buying it.
I will be buying it with our money.
Until I smear that shit on a croissant, I'm not buying it.
No,
and all this attention for jam, all this, like, what else am I getting from you?
A tea. It's clitorally loose leaf, like bagged tea. Not loose leaf, but it's like, I think it's in bags, maybe not. Yeah, in bagged tea, sugar cookies, crepe mix, the raspberry spread, and obviously the limited edition wildflower honey with honeycomb, which I'm buying you. And flour sprinkles. Well, like, this isn't, and she's like showing the jam being like made on the factory. Like, she like put out a video that was like the raspberries on the conveyor belt, like going to be smashed. She's like, look, like it's in, like, she is listening because she was like, it's in production, don't worry.
I have looked online. I cannot find where this factory is located because, originally we were led to believe everything was going to be made in Montecito. That was obviously a lie. So I don't know where this factory is located, but nothing says relatable American mom like crepe mix. Who's making crepes in the morning? How many of you have sons named Francois? What are you, Alex Van Kempen? Yeah. No one's making crepes.
I mean, all this to say she will catch my money. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, all this to say we will buy this. So
the Fixing Famous People Inc. Chase Visa card will be probably 30% of the sales of this stupid brand.
100%. 1,000,000%. And listen, on our live Zoom last Sunday, did my sister, who actually works at the Smuckers Corporation, come on and explain to everyone the difference between a fruit spread, a jelly, a jam, and a preserve? Yes, she did.
Yeah. You should go listen to that.
That's what you're missing, okay, by not being here on the Zoom with us in the $20 tier.
And also, I don't know if the people on that Zoom realize that your mother attends those Zooms
like as a stealth,
as
like
a phantom.
As a ghost. Yeah.
Her name, Lori DeRosa, it's right up there, but she doesn't speak. And she just texts you
she
things
texts
about
me
what's
to say
going
things
on
for
the
her.
Zoom.
Yes.
Right. Like your mom texting you, did Dominick just light a blunt during this live Zoom?
I was like, yes.
To which, Lori, it's a joint, not a blunt. How dare you? Also, while we're talking about the royal family, we need to be made aware of the succession plan because King Charles, let's not forget this man has been fighting cancer for quite some time
now. Yeah.
He had to do a rare hospital visit because of such. I don't have details, but he did stay at the hospital for a minute. I don't think that when there's a king, it's not like the vice presidency where like Wills has to step in and be acting king while his dad is like under anesthesia, but it's coming. I wonder if he will step down and just sort of enjoy his final years with Camilla and let Wills ascend to the throne and turn it around. You thinking he waited too long for this?
He waited too long for this. His whole life has been overshadowed by his mother, blah, blah, blah. They're so infantilized. Here's the thing. Even just reading like Harry's book, like the half of it that I did read, it's like they're just they like sit in a room and wait for someone to come get them and say, okay, time to do your like little appearance that you have to do today. And then they get led to a thing. Like they don't even remember in like The Crown, whenever it was like they were trying to make that reality show about them. And then they're like, just like sit on the couch and watch TV together. And they were like, why? They were like, what? They were like, this is terrible. Right. I have to be in the same room as my own family members. Like, blech. That's like still how they are. Do you know what I mean? Like, like when the mom was dying, like the dad was like when Princess Diana, the people's princess, was dying. Like they were just like in a room, like Harry and William were just like in a room together to cry. And like Charles like didn't even come see them. Like they're not just in a house together, like chumming it up. They're like in their little own respective waiting rooms to be called upon to like speak to other human beings. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the way that they live their lives is so different from anything we've ever experienced that these people are not normal in any way. Right. Psychologically, emotionally, physically, DNA, they're also, chromatically.
They're also infected, but they're infected with that moment where like someone who like anyone who gets a lifetime job or a lifetime appointment.
Yeah.
You sort of lose your minds. Like you can step down from it when you're not well because you were appointed to something for life. You don't need to actually do it. I'm looking at you, the Pope. I'm looking at you,
Slam.
Not the Supreme Court now, but all the ones that should have fucking retired a couple of years ago. Slam. Looking at all of you. King Charles looking at you like, stop it. When you can't walk, speak, or move, leave the job that they hired you to. There's no nobility in doing that. Yeah, one moment, I have to climb down from this box full of silk.
For real.
One lifetime appointment that no one will ever step down from is co-hosting this podcast. I will tell you that. You could pry this microphone from my cold, dead hand.
Okay, what's his name? Never mind.
Mr. Charlton Heston. Speaking of my cold, dead hand, we have to talk about JoJo Siwa and the VIP package for her concert tours.
I'm putting my head out on the table. I can't. I really can't.
JoJo Siwa.
Okay, I am apologizing for both of us for what we're about to do. Go ahead.
JoJo Siwa, there's a VIP package for her tour, which costs $900. Part of this VIP package is that you show up to the venue where the concert is taking place and help set it up.
Oh, God.
This is how JoJo Siwa is trying to employ all the recently unemployed federal employees, I would imagine. She's taking over the team and saying, you know what? For $1,000, you can put together the platform that I stomp on for 2 hours.
That I do that weird like dance move where she does the arm and the head. Yeah. I watched
I think I'm a lesbian after doing that. No wonder.
I watched like the extended version of that little interview that she did. And it is like the headline is a little salacious in the sense that she's like, you just get to be there as we're like doing the sound check and we get to be there. If you would like to like be on the stage and like plug a microphone and you can, but it's more that you're like there for the whole time. And she said that it's only for like 4-ish people. So you're like 5 special VIPs that like get real one-on-one FaceTime with her. And so it's like, it's not as like crazy. However,
I think she lowered the heat on it. Obviously, I don't think like these people are showing up and filling out like a W9 or whatever.
They get like a hard hat and like a
But it is a thing. But I think, and I started like I'm not like a JoJo Siwa fan, but I did when I was watching her talk about this. I thought to myself, I was getting the same energy from her that I got from Faye Dunaway and Mommy Dearest of all people, which is like, I look at it and I'm like, I know what you're trying to do here. Like, I can see it and you are trying hard, but it's not going over well. Like JoJo Siwa is trying. She's a kid still. You know what I mean? Sometimes I even feel bad bullshitting about her, but now that she's technically an adult, it's game on. But she's very much trying to seem like everyone's favorite lesbian best friend. And it's so, hey, so basically what the thing is, like, you come to the set and we're going to dance. You're going to talk to me. We're going to spend the afternoon together. And, if you want to help put the set together, that's fine. If you want to sing backup, you want to make out with me, you want to dress up like Melissa Etheridge and hit me over the head with a guitar, whatever she's doing, she's trying so hard to not be what her public image is. And it doesn't work very well with her.
Well, it's also just, it's so performative. You're so right. Like, remember when we found out that like when she was drinking Fireball out of like the glass handle, it was really like apple juice.
Yeah. And acted like she invented shooting Fireball.
Yeah.
On a more serious note, and really, how could it get more serious than JoJo Siwa? Justin Bieber has been making people nervous on his Instagram lives. And
guys,
he's coming out with new music. So people are torn between, is he having a mental breakdown or is he teasing new music? He did a 13-minute live the other day.
Why not
People
both?
are zooming in on his eyes, saying, what drugs is he on?
People need to really relax.
It's so, these TikToks, my God.
P.S. What drugs is he on? A lot of them. Okay. I'm sure he's on a Britney Spears cocktail to the hilt. Okay. And probably needs to be, because guess what?
Yeah, by necessity. To get through life from being a child star.
To live his life okay. So before we start being like, oh, let's like figure out what drugs he's doing, guess what? Like, get the butt out, okay?
Mm-hmm. Apparently there was a glitch in the system and it appeared that his wife had unfollowed him on Instagram after the live.
We fucking go.
And so there was a moment when everyone thought they were getting divorced this past week. I can't be on TikTok too much. A, I'm too old for it. And B, I'm too old for it. Like I watched I linked you to the video of this influencer picking apart that 13-minute live stream. And I'm like, wow. Every time I think I waste my time doing frivolous shit, I need to spend 1 millisecond on TikTok.
Yeah.
Jesus F.
Jesus F. May I please borrow your soapbox for a moment, Dominic? Would you mind handing it to me?
Hang on, let me dust it off. There you go.
Not ASMR. I truly, there's times that I'm like, we're so mean on this show. Like, I wrestle with, are we feeding into the like conspiracy theory machine that is the internet, like blah, 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 this and that. Like, we just like, we find these funny stories like JoJo Siwa, like having people pay her to like set up her sound equipment, blah, blah, blah. And then I like get one of these videos where the person is truly spending their whole day on the internet, like making a video about how this person is like someone's a monster, and none of it is real and none of it is like based in fact at all. And I'm like, you know what? We're okay. Because all the internet is anymore, and all that social media is just media now. It's not social. I'm not seeing my friends doing things. I'm seeing people with mental health issues going down rabbit holes of things for viewership, period.
And that's it.
You know what you should do? Look in a mirror and talk about what medications or drugs you need to be on. How about that when you're doing this 13-minute video, looking at Justin Bieber's pupils?
I mean, truly zooming in on his pupils and making some sort of diagnosis.
I'm sure. From WebMD, by the way.
We feel like it's our responsibility now. I think we're very tongue in cheek about what we do, but there are people once you have that spotlight, they'll just do anything to stay there. And once again, I'm looking at King Charles and the Pope. Stop. Everyone let go of the spotlight. Share it. Live your life.
Share it.
Share. By the way, speaking of Justin Bieber, on a lighter note, Rain Disick, the child of Kourtney Kardashian and Scott Disick, publicly for the first time. I mean, this is a child. He's like 11 or 12 years old.
I can't.
Someone had commented online that Justin Bieber was his actual father. And this child responded on social media, no, man, my dad is Scotty. When I was born, Justin Bieber was 16, and I don't think my mom would do that.
Oh, my God.
The Kardashian children now.
An 11-year-old child needs to come and defend themselves on the internet. That, like, case in point.
Right.
In point for everything we
What'd your fifth grader do today? Well, he rode his big wheel around and played with some toys. What did your fifth grader do? Oh, he went on the internet to tell everyone his mom wasn't a whore. Like, what?
To fight with a 42-year-old man. Who's actually probably a bot. Like, do you know what I mean?
Did you watch Saturday Night Live this weekend with Mikey Madison?
I sadly did not. I know that. Did you?
I sadly didn't either. I didn't. I did, however, watch Morgan Wallen leaving. Have you heard about this controversy?
It's all over it's every meme account is just all it is this, like, get me to God's country or whatever he said. Or
yeah, he walked, I don't think he stormed off, but he just abruptly left. And normally people hang out at the end on SNL when the credits are rolling and they hug and high five. He just like hugged Mikey Madison, walked off the stage, and then like 2 minutes later posted a picture of a private jet with the caption, get me to God's country, which everyone, including the cast, is coming forward and saying, what the fuck, explain yourself. And Morgan Wallen, don't ever fucking come back to New York again. Fuck you, you N-word using piece of shit. Why did SNL even have this piece of shit on their fucking
Well, that's
show?
Dominick.
Did we not learn the lesson from Donald Trump and Elon Musk?
Dominick.
Every fucking time Lorne Michaels wants to be controversial, it's with a complete asshole. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I got to get off this box.
I'm on the box with you now because I'm looking at one person and one person only, and that person's name is Lorne Michaels. That's who we need to be mad about. We know that Morgan Wallen's a piece of shit that's a loser and like a racist piece of trash. We know that. I don't need anyone else to tell me that. I knew that before this. I'm going to know it after it. What I do need is for Lorne Michaels to stop having these people on to be like shock value, like, or just to be like, look, like I need like alt-right people to watch Saturday Night Live. No, you don't. No, you don't. Lorne Michaels is the one that we should be looking at and screaming at. You really don't. It's not a show for them.
Lorne Michaels is 80 now, right? Sounds like a lifetime appointment. I think I've been clear about how this podcast feels about lifetime appointments.
Thank you.
Let Morgan Wallen be the cold dead hand that unwraps and releases you, Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, and jokes on you.
No sense.
I know. And jokes on you, Lorne Michaels. Like jokes on you all. Because now look what happened. Look, you gave that person a platform and they like rubbed it in your face and now you look like a fucking idiot.
So Morgan Wallen leaving New York. Good. Tell your God that we said hi. Go back to his country because God doesn't exist in New York. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Let's talk about an exit that actually matters. Garcelle Beauvais leaving the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Now we're back in God's real country.
Now we're in God's motherfucking country.
And by that I mean
Beverly Hills.
And by that I mean wild, wild country.
By Garcelle, she's just had enough. I don't know. I haven't watched the reunion. I know the reunion has started airing, right?
No, I think it's this week coming up.
Got it.
Or it already, I don't know. I watched it on Peacock.
Maybe one or two. I heard she didn't fare well. I heard they came at her during the reunion and this might have played.
Well, she kept being like, Kyle, like she kept going for Kyle, and Kyle has a lot of power on the show, you know? Like she's the OG, like she's the one that the show's built around. Like, so it's like at a certain point. But Andy was like, she can come back whenever she wants. So I do think that she actually did step away. Like they don't say that when it's not real. So I think she was like, I'm good for right now.
She probably needed to clear her schedule for Coming to America 3.
Probably.
Which I'm sure her role will be as meaty as it was in Coming to America 2, which I believe amounted to less than 30 seconds of screen time. So, but we did talk about it on several episodes.
Yeah, we sure did. So
As though she was in the Arsenio Hall role in the sequel. Like, it was pretty unbelievable.
I mean, I like her on the show. I mean, but
I love her.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, good for her.
We had her on Long Island Medium. She was a hoot. She was like so much fun, like so down to earth. Loved her.
I truly think she like stepped away from it. It's not the like we mutual decision, aka I was fired. You know what I mean? I think that she truly was like, I think I need to take a season off. And they were like, okay.
Speaking of the Bravoverse, there's a new show coming out called Love Hotel, which takes 4 housewives and puts them in some sort of Bachelor meets Survivor meets Yellow Jackets sort of moment where people die or get married.
Or be eaten alive by other human beings.
And our dear friend of the pod, Mr. Tom Chacho, is one of the executive producers of the show. So we are encouraging you to watch it. It looks like so much fun. The trailer you can find online. I will be honest, I've known the log lines for months about the show.
Sure.
I watched the trailer. It was very different from what I thought it was going to be.
I didn't think the men were going to fight like this.
No. And some of them, it gets there are some controversial moments in this trailer where Lou, our old friend Countess Luann, is just like, don't touch my friend like that. It's like, there's an assault? What?
Lou will put you in your place if you're
she
acting
sure
a fool.
Will.
Yeah.
She looks great, by the way. I want to say.
I was going to pitch a show that was like Luann, Ramona, Sonia, and Dorinda like going to dinner dates, like each going on a date in the same restaurant. And then they like meet up in the bathroom to like talk about their dates. And then like if they wanted to switch, they would like go back to a different table. Mm-hmm. But I never ended up pitching it. But like this show is now basically what that is. And so
this sounds like a version of that.
And so I'm glad that there's like, I want them dating. I want them out there. Like this show in theory could really go again and again and again and again. Like we could throw any single housewife could get thrown on there and like we would have the best time.
I also want Luann to be on every iteration of it. I want whatever relationship she forms at every season to fall apart. So she has to go back again. Kind of like what actually happened to her on Real Housewives of New York. Please don't tell me this is about Tom. Okay, so while we're in this universe, let's talk about rumored casting for The Traitors season 4, which includes, baby, if this is this is too good to be true, but if it is true, the 4th season of the American iteration of Traitors will include Nene Leakes.
Oh, God.
Eva Marcille, Mary Cosby.
No.
And yes. Wait, your no is about to get even louder. This 4th name, Tiffany New York Pollard. Chris has left the building, ladies.
Okay, I'm already mad. Because they are 100% going to make New York a traitor. And then they're going to know right away and they're going to vote her off. And she's going to be in like one episode of the show. And I'm like furious already. And it hasn't even, I don't even know that she's on the show.
I don't know. What I'm afraid of is what I will heretofore be referring to as the Dorinda syndrome, which is the cast votes off the person who would be by far the most interesting person on the season.
Yeah, sure.
In the first episode.
Yeah, Peppermint was that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I loved season 3 of The Traitors. I just think Dorinda would have made it so much spicier. But
here's my other thing. Even if the housewives are traitors, it's like, no, you want to vote off Boston, Robin, Wes first, regardless, because they're just like so much better at playing a game than anyone else.
Sure.
Like the gamers should have the biggest target on their back. And I like am mad that And then the housewives don't know how to like do strategy because they're doing housewives. Like their strategy on housewives is so different from like voting people out. And so it's like,
absolutely.
They're always like, what? Like they like are a deer in headlights at the beginning. And it's like annoying. And I'm like, we're tuning in for them, not Boston Rob's like beer gut.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Or Wes like flipping everyone off and he's like being butthurt that he got voted off. Like goodbye.
They should also have Dolores on every season just because I like looking at her all the time.
I'll tell her that.
She could be like Alan's sidekick.
She could be the little dog that's like next to
his glamorous assistant.
I'm sure they would bring her back. Like when they brought back like Parvati and Kate to be like the little like the queens of the chessboard. Yeah. Like Dolores could do that, you know?
We're going to have to go in a minute, but here's some of the things we're going to be talking about on the a la carte for those of you Patreonettes and Apple subscribers. Has Jennifer Aniston dropped Chelsea Handler as a friend? and why this sounds like hot goss, is Ariana Grande shading her ex-husband on this deluxe album, which I believe is the 7th deluxe album of her last album.
However, with a new slaps.
with a new verse in which she's going after Dalton Gomez. One thing we can just say here that we don't have to discuss on the a la carte is that Dave Coulier, who we were worried about for a time because he was sick, he is apparently cancer-free. Congratulations, Dave Coulier. We are not losing yet another of the 3 dads from Full House. Welcome back. What we will be talking about, however, is Corey Feldman having a grudge, Hugh Jackman's wife on the mend after their quite public divorce, and a Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni docuseries coming to Discovery. Not to be confused with the several docu-films that are being shot about their court case. It's all happening. It's all, this is an industry of it, what has now instantly become the most boring legal battle in the history of Hollywood.
I couldn't be less interested in it now.
Should we delete every time we've mentioned it in the past 6 months to avoid future embarrassment?
Honestly would love to.
I'll say one thing for you because I didn't really care about this much, but I think you might. Sandra Oh may be making a return to Grey's Anatomy.
Give me 1 million breaks.
Were you happy or sad about that?
No, just like, why?
Well, according to her, people have been begging her to go back for now decades.
She's like, I need money. And so she's like, I will do whatever you need.
Well, she released a statement that said, I can't find work since Killing Eve, so why not? No, her statement said that I understand how much this character means to people. It's not a no, that I would never go back.
She's the best character, like Christina Yang, right? Christina
Don't
Yang.
know.
She's the best character on the show. In the first seasons, like she's hands down the best character.
Well, you might see her again. Who knows?
She's going to come back from that 3D heart printer laboratory that she went off to with that guy who got fired from the show. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We'll be talking in the a la carte about who are the candidates to replace Hoda Kotb, because we have found out this week Kelly Clarkson, long rumored to be a frontrunner, will not be replacing Hoda.
Wasn't she replaced by, on Jenna or?
Yes, on Jenna, not on the main broadcast.
Yeah.
Although it would be fantastic to have Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly and Jenna would be very fun.
They could be. It's not going to be her, though. I'm not sure why, but it is not going to be her.
I know it should be, though. Well, she has another show called The Kelly Clarkson Show. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, which takes up her time. And she's also got children that she's raising here. And she's got a lot of other projects. So I know we want her to do it. She probably wouldn't have time. George Clooney's in town, by the way. He's on Broadway. And his Broadway show, Good Night and Good Luck, broke the record for highest sales of a Broadway play in 1 week. A record that had been set the week before with Denzel Washington's Othello. Wow, what a coincidence that this keeps happening, where these tickets for $920 are setting records. Fuck you, Broadway. Make it work. Make it make sense. Oh, we'll go on these 200 sites where you can get cheaper tickets. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to spend 8 hours trying to get a cheap ticket for something that lasts 90 minutes. Figure it out.
It's also like, for what? To see an A-list celebrity? Like, no.
I don't know. I feel like this mascara wand has just come back again and put me in a completely bad mood. We'll see how it goes.
We will.
The a la carte. I feel like I'm getting all salty again. But you know what's not going to make us salty? Special guest Erik Arntzen talking about Lil Mama.
Maybe you've heard of her.
Maybe you haven't. I know right now, my actual mama is going, who the fuck are they talking about? Stick around.
You'll find out.
It's a lot of fun. And a reminder also that our first installment of our special series featuring famous people drops on the free feed this Friday with legendary legend Bruce Vilanch. And oh, what a time we had talking with him. You'll get an hour with him on the free feed and then another half hour on the Patreon. And you're going to get Lil Mama and me and Chris and Erik in a minute after these vital messages. Christopher, I know you typically voice this part of the broadcast, but before you introduce our esteemed returning guest, and before you say whatever it is else that you're going to say, I have a question for you.
Do I know what Lil Mama's first or last name is?
Oh, that's coming. But the actual question was this. What you know about me? What you know about me? What you know about me? What you know
about me?
That's it.
My lip gloss is popping. My lip gloss is cool. All the boys keep stopping.
They chase me after
school. Know that our guest for this episode, him and I solidified our friendship by both, without trying, wrapping the entirety of Lil Mama's lip gloss. And that is, of course, Erik Arntzen. Welcome back to the show.
Chris, I think you need to issue a redaction. It's actually, my lip gloss is Coo.
Oh, sorry. My lip gloss is Coo.
Is that right?
Is Coo.
You know, I'm on the Library of Congress website. They have spelled the word cool out specifically.
We dropped a lot of L's in 2006.
Yeah.
So.
Got it.
Sure.
That and condoms went all in the trash bin. That's it.
Yeah.
What are you drinking, Erik? Or would you like to do some product placement?
So this should be a diet Snapple, and they've rebranded it to Zero Sugar Snapple, and I'm not happy about it because there was a lovely Lady Gaga song called Electric Chapel that I rebranded with Diet Snapple, and it just doesn't hit the same, but the taste is still great. The raspberry is my favorite for any fans out there that want to send me a case.
And that won't be the last that we will talk about probably Diet Snapple in this episode at some point.
So for those of you listening who I know will include my own family who are saying, I don't know the song you were just singing. I don't know the person you're talking about. Who we are speaking of is an artiste by the name of Lil Mama. Lil Mama. Real name. Now, and I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. I believe it's Nyatia. That is how the Google is telling me. It's Nyatia. The way that it's spelled is Niatia. And it looks like it could, in some other universe, be pronounced Nyasha. But according phonetically to the Googs, it is Nyatia.
Nyatia energetically feels right to me.
It does. It does.
Yeah, right.
So for those of you who don't know who she is, we're going to do our best to probably educate you that you do know who she is.
You've heard this song before.
You've heard this song. You've seen her on other shit. And even when I was researching her earlier today, I thought she disappeared 10 years ago. She didn't. She's been doing shit. She's been popping up.
We know.
Okay. That's good to know because Erik and I have a long-standing joke about what she's up to right now. And
I did until today. I was like, why are you working at Port Authority? Like, have I seen you at the bowling alley? Like, I'm like, where are you?
If she's lucky working at Port Authority, by the way. Like,
I need a size 9. Thank you.
We're speaking about hip hop legend, and I'm going to say legend because although her output may not be that great, her place in history is pretty solid.
And her, like, the chicanery that she has gotten into is legendary, by the way. Dominick's giving me a standing ovation for the word chicanery.
Okay. That word, by the way, the next time we drink, I promise you the drunker I get, the more I'm going to use that word in the wrong places.
Sure.
Chicanery, today's underused word. Thank you, Chris. Lil Mama, real name, Nyatia Kirkland, born October 4th, 1989. So
related to the Costco Kirklands?
I was going to say,
don't
is
know.
She from the Kirkland dynasty?
I don't know. Has she enrobed me in everything from tank tops to toilet paper? Who knows? Nyatia Kirkland, born October 4th, 1989. She's 35 years old. She was born in Brooklyn, New York. And she is a Libra.
Just like Erik.
What is...
And my sister, yeah.
What is Nyatia Kirkland, known as Lil Mama's middle name? I'm going to say this is gettable.
Okay.
It's not in the same genre as
Lutelius.
Nyatia.
Yeah, okay. Are you
Chris,
okay,
it's all you because I have her Wikipedia up, which
you
I'm
saw
sure
it
is
already?
riddled with truths.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Erik has seen
Erik
it.
already knows it?
Erik
Look
saw
at
it.
you. What a nice guy for actually acknowledging it. I would sit there and play dumb and just be like,
Well,
Dolores.
I like to have
not Dolores.
I have a few clips that I'm going to send in the chat as well
Sure,
that I think are very
okay.
relevant. So I have my whole dossier pulled up on this show.
Okay.
Renee was the first name that came to me, and so I'm going to go.
Good guess. Jessica Niatia. Jessica.
Oh, I wasn't going to guess.
You should have just went through the list of my mom and sisters because
I know, really.
Renee, Jessica,
are they named Renee and Jessica? That's hilarious. All right, so let me just give you just a little bit of poop on Lil Mama before we get off to the races here. Her album, her debut album, VYP, known as Voice of Young People, came out in 2008. She was 17 years old. It spawned 4 singles. I hadn't heard of the other ones. I'm sure you boys will educate me. There's some other songs on there that were not as big as this one. Her big anthem was Lipgloss. And the reason this old white faggot knows Lipgloss is because in 2008, I'm going to tell a Domcore story. In 2008, I was doing the warm-up at Tyra, formerly known as the Tyra Banks Show. And in the performance we had to do to get everyone riled up beforehand, we would do a lot of dancing and runway and nonsense.
Yeah.
And there were
like calling people like gay or straight, like all the things.
All of it. Like
at the mouth.
Ass. Yes.
But this is literally like, I'm doing things so basically feminine and gay on the stage that tourists are like, look, honey, it's a real faggot. It was still that time. You know what I mean?
Sure. Like a real gay person.
We weren't everywhere. There was no Drag Race yet. There was no, especially there were no cell phones.
They're like, look at this.
There was no Grindr
out in the wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But this was part of the price of admission was like, not only are we going to go see Tyra, but we're going to see one of them gays perform for us. And so whenever I would dance or do runway, there were 2 songs that year that made the audience. I didn't have to say anything else. I just had to play these 2 songs. One of them was Get Me Bodied by Beyonce. And the other one was Lipgloss by Lil Mama. Like that year, they heard that song and the audience. I'd never heard the song before I even started. I only heard it through working at Tyra. Yeah. And they would just go, and I just ended up falling in love with the song and putting it on my iPod. And that was it. That was my intro to her. Do you have a different intro? No, you already said you bonded at Lipgloss, the two of you.
Well, we both, as we were in the same year graduating, right? Eric, 2009.
Yeah.
Are you 2009? We graduated the same year. When we met, Eric was like my first real friend that I made in New York that wasn't my boss. And so we were working on Iron Chef America's final season, both as PAs, and all the PAs were eating lunch. And this is like while we're like getting ready. The show hasn't started shooting yet or something. And someone said something about something. I don't remember how we got on it. And then we started talking about Lil Mama and Lipgloss. And Eric and I just out of nowhere just started going, what you know about me? What you know about me? And then just did the entire song for all of the other PAs, and they just stood there and watched us.
And the dance moves too, because it was like that Born to Hand Jive song dance that is like kind of prevalent in that music video. So we were doing that. We're like stomping our feet on the ground. Everyone's like, what's going on? Because the reason why Lipgloss is so great is that the song tells the story. You know,
it does.
She starts from one place and then she gets to Miss McClarson, whoever the fuck that is.
The principal.
And it really just becomes like a full circle moment of how poppin' her lip gloss is.
And this is back when like, before TikTok dances, we had like, there was just like a dance to a song like the 1-2 Step by Sierra. The Tootsie Roll was one of the ones that like is an OG version of this. Yeah. There was like
Soulja Boy, when we had like Superman That Hoe.
Snap Your Fingers. Yeah, Soulja Boy, Superman That Hoe. This is back when we would like learn hip hop line dances to like do at prom.
This is when we had Music Choice on demand. And we would watch the music video on TV and just rewind every time in order to get the dance move and pause it and rewind it again. We had to put in work to know our dances. There were no 15, 30-second things on a loop.
Yeah, no one was teaching us, by the way. We just had to learn it.
And we probably looked like crazy assholes, but in our minds, we looked great.
We looked great.
So basically, and I mean, I feel like it's not too soon to talk about this because this event I thought spelled the end for her. And for me,
well, before we get there, I know exactly where you're going, but
it was the end. I mean, for me, she had lip gloss and then that thing that we're going to talk about.
No. So she has this single It explodes. There's other songs. None of them are at anywhere near as famous as
right?
Lipgloss.
Although she did do something with Avril Lavigne, didn't she?
So Avril Lavigne did like 90. Remember how Beyonce used to do this? Beyonce did like 3 different versions of Irreplaceable, where one was just completely in Spanish and I think in another language, either Portuguese or French. I don't remember which one, but she would just do the whole song in another language and it like made sense. Avril Lavigne did one where didn't she do it like in Japanese? Am I joking? Yes. Am I wrong?
It was the United Nations of music downloads because it was every single language, like everything you could possibly imagine. I'm sure there's one in Hebrew as well.
Yeah, sure. And she did one. Avril Lavigne did a version of her song Girlfriend, which is very energetically similar to Lipgloss, which was featuring Lil Mama. And Lil Mama got to rap on the song Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne, which was at the time a humongous hit.
But it was already
I don't like your girlfriend, girl, make your way.
Yeah, it already came.
Well, yeah, I know the song, but there was already a hit before Lil Mama did her version.
It was already a huge one, and then there was a remix with Avril Lavigne.
So prevalent that it was parodied on Mad TV. Hey, look, now I have a black friend. Like it really just stood the test of time.
Which that tracks. But Lil Mama gets her fame that she's going to get. But then there's a little show headlined by the great Randy Jackson, who I quote all the time on this show. And it was a show called America's Best Dance Crew.
I forgot that she started on that show right after Lipgloss, before the Cataclysmic event.
And this is the trio of a lifetime, right? The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It is Randy Jackson, Lil Mama, and JC Chazé as the three, as the Paula, Simon, and Randy.
Who was the Simon on that show? Who was the mean one? Randy?
None of them. Randy was still Randy, but he was like the main one. He was the Simon, I guess, but he didn't fill the Simon role of being mean. Whereas like he was like the producer, whereas Lil Mama was like the hip hop girl, and then JC Chazé was like the singer / like performer, like dancer.
All due respect to Lil Mama and whatever her talents would be, but if I'm a contestant on America's Next Dance Crew and I come out and one of the judges is 17, I'm gonna grab my dick and say "fuck y'all" and walk off the stage. Like I'll be like, "How dare you bring me here to perform for this person in high school whose claim to fame is a song about a cosmetic that I could buy on the counter at Dwayne Reed? How dare you? I'm a dancer."
But she was a judge. And not for nothing, that like kind of kept her in the mix. Like she would have just went away and right, Eric? She would have like faded away.
Yeah. But Show to Get Loose, that was a song that was kind of like born after that era, that like while she was judging, which had like Chris Brown and T-Pain. And from the music videos too, you could tell. But she was a really great dancer, you know, like a lot of these like rap girls like didn't really dance like that. Like they could do like a little shimmy or whatever, and a lot of like pointing to the camera, but she was actually a really good dancer.
And the Lipgloss dance was like rejuvenating, like learning dances to songs kind of a thing. So I will say at the time, it did seem like a strategic, and again, this show aired on MTV. It didn't air on like, it wasn't on like NBC primetime for adults. It was like for 15-year-olds like me and Eric at the time to watch. The Jabberwockies, remember them?
Jabberwockies, yeah.
Like win the first season, you know? It was a big show for MTV at the time. Like we all watched it.
I know the title, but I don't remember watching it.
Why would you have watched it, Dominic? That's the point.
I wouldn't watch anything then.
But it's like, it was geared towards kids. It wasn't geared towards you.
How old would I have been at the time? I would have been 37. I would have still watched something childish then, I think.
Sure. I was almost too old to watch it, is what I'm telling you. Do you know what I mean? It was like MTV, and it was like, what are any of these people going to do after this? Like, are any of them going to be famous? No. But it was a show. I don't know, Eric, what do you think?
But that show was on for a long fucking time, too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And Dom, you were probably doing important things. Like it was on probably at like 9-10 o'clock at night, you know, like you were probably doing things that like were improving your life or like having life experiences.
You were dancing to Lipgloss.
I was about to say
when it was on.
Things were warming up the Tyra audience. The only other thing I'd be doing then at that time of night would be Coke, probably during 2008. So sure. Coke was important to me then.
the 2-for-1 free-for-all down around the corner at Hardware.
I did it with Tyra. I sold one of her wigs for a kilo of coke.
Yeah. But like Chris and I were like at home in our basements being like, I'm not going to bed yet, and then we would be like watching this until like 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So that's probably why you never watched it, because it was like a weekday show. It wasn't like a weekend thing. It was like an after school, like after dinner kind of thing, like that it would just be on in the circulation with
well, plus Dominick, you probably turned it on and were like, who the fuck is Lil Mama? And like, JC Chasez, are you fucking kidding me? What is this kind of a thing?
Who is this Lillian Mama? And where do I need
I didn't know what she looked like until today. Like the only time I remember visually seeing her was at the event that we're going to talk about in a minute.
Okay.
That was the only time I remember. I know she's done one other major project after that. I didn't realize it was her.
That was after, right? Okay, got it. Okay.
After. I mean, 2 major projects, actually, one of them being that movie, but I didn't know know who she was.
No, we'll get there. And I have a personal story about that, actually. So.
Oh, my God.
So then we get to the thing Dominick has been chomping at the bit to talk about since we started the episode. Dominick, why don't you tell us?
I sure will, Chris. At the VMAs in 2009, Jay-Z and Alicia Keys were up there singing Empire State of Mind. And then this is like a core, it's like a core pop culture memory that I'm surprised doesn't get spoken about more often.
So good.
And to speak it and read it, it doesn't even seem that unusual. But at the time, it's just hard to explain. We were all like, what the fuck is she doing? They're up there singing Empire State of Mind. It's a huge hit. These are huge stars. And for no reason, Lil Mama just runs up to the stage and starts performing with the two of them as though this was a trio.
And then a lot of head nodding, just a lot of nodding.
So much bopping along.
I need you both to know how much I think you're killing it right now. Like she is just like, and she doesn't even do anything. And she's like looking at them in their eyes and being like, yes, like we're doing it. It's like
with crazy eyes though, with crazy eyes.
And then ends it with, the sort of rapper stance of like arms folded high above the titties, chin in the air, like with Alicia and Jay-Z. And it was just, you have to Google it. Maybe we'll put it on the FFP page to make sure that you know what the hell we're talking about. But it was just so bizarre. What I didn't know this part of it, but right before, apparently Beyonce had tried to hold her from going up.
Yeah,
there.
She was like, no, she's grabbing Beyonce and being like, come on, Beyonce, we need to go up there. Me and you together,
right,
as peers. And Beyonce's like, no.
And then she's like, all right, fuck it.
And she's like grabbing, in one shot, she's like, pulling Beyonce's arm and Beyonce's like, no, and like pulling her back.
Right.
And then like eventually Beyonce's like, well, I'm not going up there. So you go ahead. Yeah.
And so this was the same year that Kanye went up and interrupted Taylor Swift.
Was
it? Yeah, because Beyonce's wearing that red dress when they cut to when he's like, Beyonce had the best album of all time. And then they cut to Beyonce and she's like, oh my God, Kanye. And she's wearing that like big red dress. So it must have been that same night. And I'm guessing maybe that's what helped Lil Mama to like get the confidence to do that, because she's like, well, Kanye West just went up and interrupted whatever. Because I'm guessing that happened at the end. Like, I feel like that wasn't, because there was a lot of like confetti and stuff. So I feel like maybe that performance, that Empire State of Mind was like, they probably got like Song of the Year or something. And that was like closing out the show.
She does have the red dress on. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, that was the year everyone thought Single Ladies was going to win.
Right.
And it didn't. And that's why Kanye went
Sasha
up
Fierce
and
would get album of the whatever. Yeah.
This is even crazier than I remember, whenever they're all three of them together folding their arms and the two of them are just like ignoring that she's even there.
It's the show must go on.
Something funny that I also don't remember was that Jay-Z apparently patted Lil Mama on the leg, jokingly telling her, you are T-Paining right now. Because apparently T-Pain had did the same thing to him at Summer Jam 2 months earlier than the VMAs.
Oh God. Why are these people doing this?
I don't know. And so Wikipedia says at the end of the performance, Lil Mama came to the foreground and posed alongside Jay-Z and Alicia Keys. She later clarified that she would, quote, never try to disrespect Jay-Z or take a moment that someone has created and try to relive it. I'm too original for that, and I respect him too much for that. Cut to she's done interviews 12, 13, 15 years later where she is crying, talking about regretting doing it.
I mean, you are right. It did kind of ruin her career.
I thought it did, but now we're about to talk about other shit where she like popped up after.
Well, okay. So she does that. Everyone's like, what on earth is happening? And then, and two like titans of the industry, and then Lil Mama, who's like, thinks that she's one of them. And obviously everyone's like, no, what is this?
Right. It's literally the two biggest people in music at the time are two of the top 10. And the girl who sang Lipgloss, like that's who's on the stage.
Which at this point is now, like 4 or 5 years old. It's like not even.
Yeah. Just a year. It was only a year after Lipgloss came out. So she was like, it was a year after Lipgloss and America's Next Dance Crew. Yeah.
She was like, I am a star. Like here, I am with these people.
And she's like, I am New York. So maybe she had like a church, like coming to God moment where she was like, I need to be up there. Like I am from wherever the hell. And I am New York. And now I'm in LA. Oh, Brooklyn. Yeah. Like she was like, I need to represent.
Yeah. She's a concrete jungle where dreams are made of.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know
what I am made of dreams, bitches. Look, I'm 18 and I have a hit single and I'm on an MTV show as a judge.
Yeah, what? Paula Abdul is shaking. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, respectfully, Paula probably was shaking, but it was for pills.
How dare you?
Oh, yeah.
So then, Dominic, I'm assuming what you're going to talk about is that she plays Lisa Left Eye Lopez in this VH1 biopic about TLC.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And her co-stars.
Is that the one that Drew was in?
Are co-stars for her. It's called Crazy Sexy Cool, or as we say on this show, Butthole, the TLC story. And playing T-Boz is none other than Drew Sidora.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And playing the role of Chili is Keke Palmer.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
I have chills a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. Think about that. So, Lil Mama.
Word.
Yes.
I know you don't like when I do this, but I do have to explain to some people. Drew Sidora is a real housewife of Atlanta.
Yes.
Keke Palmer, if you don't know who she is, you do. Just Google Keke Palmer. She's in everything. Wow.
Yeah. And I remember watching it. I remember being like, oh my God, I have to go back and like watch this. Like I obviously watched this movie, duh. And I was getting ready to like have it be terrible. And me and my roommate at the time were like, can we talk about how that like wasn't bad? Like it was actually really good. Like for what it was, like for it being a VH1 original biopic, it was actually like not terrible. And they did a really good job. And
did they cover Left Eye's death in the movie?
Yeah.
Eventually they did. And then like the real T-Boz and Chili at the end, like come out and are like, it's been 20 years. Because it was like the 20th anniversary of them becoming famous, like getting a single.
They were producers on it or something, right?
And they were producers on it. And they like are at the end and it's the two of them like in a recording studio and they do like one single. And it was in conjunction with releasing like their like greatest hits album, basically. So then, and I don't think many people actually know this, they casted Lil Mama because they said she reminded us so much of Lisa. Like they
I believe that.
The Lil Mama, they were like, no one right now in the rap scene is doing what like Lisa was doing and you are embodying her. And so that's how she's cast.
I believe
in the movie. And again, she did a good job in the movie. I'm not going to lie to you. And so then the Super Bowl is in New York / New Jersey.
I can't believe it was Drew.
I know.
I'm actually more blown away about Keke Palmer than I am about Drew, but I know Keke was a child actor, so I shouldn't be surprised.
But think about Lisa, Chili, and T-Boz, and then think in your mind like what they look like with the wigs of those people on. And it is it's casted perfectly.
Yeah.
VH1 does a thing called Super Bowl Blitz, which they did 6 concerts in 6 nights leading up to the Super Bowl. I was a PA on that.
Oh, wow.
And so they went to Staten Island, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, and New Jersey and the Bronx, all like leading up to the Super Bowl. And it was like I think it was J. Cole was one of the performances. One of them was like, dare I say Gavin Rossdale was one of the performances. I don't remember, but one of them, the one in Manhattan at the Beacon Theater, was TLC. And the whole thing was that Lil Mama was going to be with them and she was going to perform as Lisa. She was going to be the one that was going to come and be Lisa. And it was like, we had heard it, like the show itself. Like I knew because I was working on the show that that's what was going to happen. And something happened and I don't know what it is.
She didn't do it.
But she never showed up. Either she never showed up. They said no, something. I don't know what happened, Lord. But she was not on the stage performing because I was there in the audience that night because there was all these different seats available still. And the crew was like, come here and like, you'll get to see the performance. And so me and like my, I think production manager went and like sat in the audience. Mm-hmm. You want to know who was hosting the Super Bowl Blitz on VH1?
I don't know. You've dropped so many bombs in the past 10 minutes. I don't even know who Viola Davis.
Nick Cannon. Nick
Cannon. Jesus.
And are you ready for this blast from the past? A model. And when I say model, I mean girlfriend of Leonardo DiCaprio, Stacy Keibler. Do you remember that name?
I remember her then leaving Leo and going to George Clooney, right? I remember her being George Clooney's
maybe it was George Clooney that she was dating.
I think she might have dated both of them, actually. Actually, Siri, did Stacey Keibler date Leonardo DiCaprio? She says from 2000 to 2005, Gisele Bündchen was in a relationship with Leonardo DiCaprio. I ask you, the listening public, did anyone hear me say anything about Gisele fucking Bündchen? Good night, Siri. Good night. She's mad because I asked her to translate a few things this hour and because I can't.
She's off the clock, yeah.
I can't get laid unless I'm translating into Spanish. It's just the way it goes.
Neither can I.
Oh, that's right. I
forgot. Ding dong. Horrible.
Love you, Dave.
Anyway, so she doesn't show up. And everyone's like, oh, I guess she didn't. Like, we were all like, well, gulp, like, whatever. I mean, nothing ever comes of it because, like, I don't think the public even really knew. Or if they did, it was like, there's going to be a surprise guest that's going to be with them. And, like, we all assumed it was Lil Mama. But then something happened and she didn't show up. And then, honestly, up until the video that Erik is going to talk about next, I did not see hide nor hair of Lil Mama. And that's where I end with her, Dominic. If there's do you have anything else that you're saying? She's still been going?
She was on, it appears as though she did she was on the challenge once in 2018.
Oh.
In 2018, I guess she released a single called Shoe Game, which I'd never heard of before, which I don't know. She performed it on TRL and because that was still around then.
She also has a song called Sausage, which I'm curious about.
Right, which apparently she debuted it on World Star Hip Hop, the song Sausage.
Well,
there was a sausage trend on Vine that year. I remember none of this. I'm just telling you. Whatever.
Was that like, remember like Eggplant Friday? Remember that?
Oh yeah, eggs, bacon, grits, sausage. No?
You mean eggplant like weird.
Oh, no, you're right, Erik. It's the like...
Right? It's like eggs, bacon, grits, sausage.
No, and got a flat ass, but it sounded like the sausage. Still got the sausage. Remember that video?
Oh, no. Well,
I don't know. Oh, God.
That might have been like too long for Vine, but it was like a video that was circulating.
Okay. But regardless, remember Eggplant Friday? When guys would like put their like dick imprint through their shorts like on Instagram on Fridays.
Oh, my God.
Do you remember this?
I think that's skipped.
I don't.
Account,
okay, never mind.
That is something I'm too old for. I don't know what Eggplant Friday is.
Someone will remember Eggplant Friday. Anyway.
But she was on Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, but again, not breaking through. Well, I guess they never break through. None of the only person ever break through Love and Hip Hop or like Growing Up Hip Hop is like
Cardi B.
And that's it, right?
She starred alongside her mentor and new manager at that time, MC Light.
Oh.
Just dropping names all over the place here.
That's someone real. You know what I mean? That's a real name. But like still, okay. This changes things for me already.
The only other thing I'll mention to you, two other things, is that in 2011, which was a couple of years after the Empire State of Mind VMA moment, she appeared on The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, and they apparently she was also involved in some sort of feud with Nicki Minaj at the time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She just sort of broke down in tears on the broadcast. And she returned 5 years later to the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne show, to explain why she cried. And her mother hadn't been deceased for that long. Apparently she passed away in 2007. And yeah, so that was a fight she fought with Charlamagne, which no one ever really wants to do because he's very popular. And the only other thing I'll say is that in 2016, she was arrested for driving 38 miles per hour in a 25-mile speed zone. And her license had been revoked. This happened in Harlem. So her license had already been revoked. And when she was caught speeding, which I am very old and I've lived here a very long time. I've never seen someone get pulled over for speeding in Manhattan.
I don't think me either.
She's pulled over at 4 a.m. for doing 38 and a 25. I didn't even know we had speed limits here.
Well, it's all 25 technically in the city.
All of Manhattan's 25?
Until you get on the highway.
Well, I'll tell you what it is outside my window in the Bronx. It is not 25 at any time of day.
I mean, I feel like we've done it. I feel like we're at the arena.
We are.
Right?
Yeah, we are. And I want to mention one other thing before we walk the carpet here. She has a cosmetics line where she sells actual lip gloss. Like if you go to her Instagram page, it's linked in her bio. It's called Vanity Cosmetics. And she's either an investor or an owner of this. And if you scroll down, if you go to Vanity Cosmetics, and you can see that she's listed as the blueprint.
Aniata? What is her name?
Niatia.
Niata. I didn't remember.
Niata is a car. Niatia is Lil Mama's first name.
Niatia Jessica Costco Kirkland.
Yes. That's where she sells the lip gloss, Costco.
Yeah. It should be at Costco.
It should be. Ooh, that's a good one. A little Costco brand deal.
Okay. I could be like, go do a new album, but we would never listen to it. Even if we jokingly said we would, we really wouldn't. There's like, so she's put out songs we didn't even know that they existed. There's a whole world where I want her to like go back to music and like be a rapper and like be like a feature on like every good song. And that's just like not going to work, in my opinion. She has been held up by MTV for a long time. And so what I want her to do is I want her to star in the reboot of MTV's True Life, where she and a bunch of other like has-been other people like her that were like MTV stars are going to be in the first episode that's like, True Life, I was an MTV star. And we could throw in some like challenge people, someone that was on The Real World, someone that was on Road Rules that's not like our, not our Wes or our Johnny Bananas or our like, our OG ones. But like, remember like the one guy that was on San Diego that was like, his name was like Brad, like someone from Real World, Lil Mama, someone from My Super Sweet 16, someone from Teen Mom that was one of the ones that fell off, not like our OG, like, you know what I mean? Are there ones that like fell off that aren't our OGs that we love? Is there all these other people? And that can be the first episode of True Life, which I still to this day think is the best MTV show to ever exist, was True Life. And I think we can do a bunch of these that are like, I was a blank, to give a throwback and honestly just do like whole episodes of check-ins of people that were on True Life and like what their life is like now. Like Danielle Cabral from Real Housewives of New Jersey was on True Life, I'm from Staten Island. There could be a check-in with her now and her thinking that she's done interviews about it before, but like these throwbacks of like, remember the woman that was the Anna Nicole Smith impersonator?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that woman?
Yeah.
There was the guy that got calf implants. Like there's so many people that I remember their True Life like it was yesterday. I couldn't tell you what their name was or even what they looked like, but I remember like True Life, I'm getting plastic surgery and the one guy got calf implants and he had to like wipe the blood up off of his calves. I want Lil Mama to be like in the crowning jewel first episode of the reboot of True Life. And then I almost want her to then like be in the host of some other MTV show. I don't know what that is. But like she should come back as a host. And even if it's like the host of the challenge, I know it's like TJ Lavin or one of these people.
Thought of that as well. I was actually wondering if we reboot a modern day TRL, maybe would she be a candidate?
Would she be a host? Like one of the hosts?
You can take that if you want, because it's not my
No, it's not. That's not my pitch. Mine is True Life, because I think that's what it was. But TRL, they tried to do it and it didn't work. But she's rebooting True Life and then is going to be a host on some MTV show. And that is my pitch. I'm not as fun as like redoing Lipgloss, but I weirdly would love to watch her on True Life.
We don't have a lot of material, so it's like
it's a tough one. It's a tough one, which is why my idea is just going to be short and sweet. I want to reunite the cast of that TLC movie, her, Keke Palmer, and Drew Sidora. And I just want an updated all-black reboot of 9 to 5. That's my pitch, period.
Oh my God.
So it would be...
Who's playing who?
It doesn't fucking matter. I just want the three of them in it. And that's the pitch. Circus or not. Good. That's all I got. Chris, that was very thoughtful. I wish I had thought of yours.
No, yours is also incredible. Yours is incredible. Yours is one that might actually happen.
It's tough. Yeah. It's everybody loves a reboot apparently until they don't. So Dom, I do like yours. I feel like that could happen with anyone. So because of that, and because of
I'm sure my little piggy, that. I don't think it could be anyone.
Because of my a little selfish reason too. I have a piggyback idea off of Chris's, so I will be choosing Chris's. I think
I don't normally do this, Eric, but what if I have Viola Davis playing the boss in this reboot?
How many wigs does she have?
And literally every time the camera cuts back to her,
I was going to say,
wig.
like, you sold me if it's like every single time, like in the Scary Movie 3, where the sheriff's
hat
goes
to cover what Viola's going to do in the role of Francesca Hart.
I want even like her to take one off and do in the sex.
And it's another wig.
Well, there's a wig. I'd never take off your wig unless there's one underneath.
Wig reveal,
of course.
So I'm going to pick Chris's because I have a little follow-up idea that I think Lil Mama could be the host of a Making the Band-ish type of show where she has like a little like group of teeny bopper, like little dochies. Like she has like little dochies that are up and coming rappers that she like fosters. And she's like Big Mama, you know, like she's still Lil Mama, but now she's like their mama. Lillian Mother Kirkland, she could be like pulling the strings and getting them to be like superstars and whatever.
In theory, yes, I like this show, but she is not reliable enough to like show up to work every day. I'm sorry to say.
Like a scripted thing. It's like it's like a star.
No, but like making the band or like making the next rapper is fun to me.
P.S. She has 1 million Instagram followers, I might add.
No.
She's 957,000 Instagram followers.
Well, if you're listening today, just why don't you give her a little follow and get her to 1 million? Let's all do it.
I'm going to. I don't follow her, and that's on me. Lil Mama. I'm assuming it's just Lil Mama.
She puts her full government name there too.
Lillian Mama, as Eric said.
Lillian Mama.
For sure.
All right, so I'm the winner, I guess.
You are the winner. Congratulations, Chris.
It.
You really should take that win. And I'll tell you why. Because you're down this year.
Because I'm down. I'm behind.
It's only Q1.
I know, but you never know. It's if the league gets too long, and then
this third year of our podcast really decides who's fixing royalty, because you won one year and then I won the other. So whoever wins this one decides if the podcast continues. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. Eric, what a whirlwind. Where can people find you?
Everyone can find me on Instagram at Eric with the K today. And still I rise.
Oh my God, Dominick, where can people find you?
Oh, find me at Dominick Pupa on Instagram, at Domentary on TikTok, or my website is domentary.com. And coming soon, Fixing Famous People will have its own TikTok page. Will it contain the same content as our Instagram page? It certainly will. Should you follow us there anyway, just to look at it a seventh time?
Or just to give us a number and then never look at it once? Yes.
I had a friend call me. My friend Danny called me a couple of days ago after listening to the last podcast we did. And she is obsessed with the patented Chris DeRosa self-interview, which I just caught myself doing, and it's not my brand, so I need to pull back from it, and I apologize.
You can do it.
I already say period so much that people think I'm menstruating at this point, so it's like I can't. I cannot
do whatever
steal that from you. I can't.
Do whatever you want.
I can't.
But wait, what did she say? She just loves it.
She's just obsessed with it. She's like, I start laughing every single time he does it. I'm like, I don't know that you understand. That's not a bit. He does it.
No, I really. It's not a bit. I
right.
just simply talk like that.
Right. He will be looking. You'll be the only two people in the room, and he will start looking you in the eye and interviewing himself. Yes.
Do I love this? Yes. Am I also an idiot? Yes. Yeah.
Are we the only people in this room? Yes.
Yes.
Christopher, where can our listeners find you on the World Wide Web?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People. And you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople. I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.